So what we want to do is we want to make sure there's a space between my hips and his hips. If I'm locked up against him when I turn him, I'm not gonna be able to really have control. I want my hips above his. So the higher I can get my hips above his, the better off I am. The other thing is, once I go over and under, I want to pull him into my lap like this. That way when I go and I pick a side, I'm going to stomp on his hip and I'm going to pass his foot across as much as I can. If I can actually hook this foot on his hip like this is even better. Because now it's going to be really hard for because what he wants to do is he wants to try to get his shoulders to the mat and he wants to get that foot to the mat. And it makes it really hard. See what I'm saying? So I can either, I can even cross my feet as long as it's on the outside of his hips here and not here, I'm okay. But if I can get this foot across, even and lock my feet or even stomp my feet here, I'm in a good position. All right. Now, again, I want to take this lapel and I want to flip it out. That way it gives me a handle to grab onto. If I just grab this, there's nothing really to hold on to. So if he pulls his gi, it's just going to strip my grip off really fast. So by making a handle, now if he tries to strip it, it's going to be really hard for him to strip that gi. Okay, now from here, I'm going to come here and I'm going to grab the second one. This one's going to pull and start taking the slack out. Now, I'm going to bump his head. I'm gonna like kick him down and bump his head right onto my shoulder like this. And then I'm just going to start to pull back. And I'm just kind of like rolling my wrist and pulling back and pulling this down. And that's going to make the choke. So again, I want to make a space between me and him. Get my over-under grip, and I always want to protect the choking hand, because if I go this way, he pulls the hand down, now I have no hand to choke with. But if he grabs that hand, then here's my choke. It's right here, okay? So once I get him to the side, I like to bring this foot across his hip as much as I can. That way it's going to be really hard for him to get that foot to the mat. And if he starts messing with my foot, then look, I'm already feeding my grip. See that? Now here, I come here, I bump his head up on my shoulder, and then I start to choke. And sometimes it takes a few seconds for it to hit, but I'm just going to hold it and just gradually squeeze. And my shoulder's pushing into his head too. So my shoulder pushes into his head as I choke. Alright? So one last time, I make the space between me and him. I protect my choking hand. Notice that it's up high too. The lower I keep it, the easier it is for him to grab that choking arm. And then I'll never get it up there. But if I start it up here, then as I'm bringing them down and crossing, look, I can already feed. Now I get a grip on this one. I'm taking the slack out with here. I bump my shoulder behind his head, and then I just finish the choke. Okay?
Sir.
Let's work that one first. Ready?
Loose.